Hey everybody, welcome to After the Movie. On today's episode, it's me and Brandon.
Hello.
We're going to be talking about Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, the best movie ever. So welcome to the show, and I guess just opening thoughts. What did you think, Brandon?
Oh, man, I loved it, dude. Holy crap. It's different. Um, I don't think it topped Guardians 2 for me because I love Guardians 2 so much.
I know, yeah. Well, they're so different.
Yeah.
Like some people might say they're really similar, and
Uh-huh.
they are in a way, but like they're just incredibly different.
Yeah.
Because Guardians 2 is just very like I don't know. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's like more actiony, adventure-y,
Yeah.
like kind of space Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And like Thor is like, this is like a Thor comic
Mm.
incarnate. Like this is a Thor comic come to
Yeah,
life.
it's the best Thor movie, without
Yeah,
a doubt,
for sure, for
man.
sure.
Like, they finally got it right.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
like, not that I hated Thor 1 and 2, I just didn't really like them. I didn't love them.
Yeah, I would argue
They're
I haven't
alright.
really seen the Incredible Hulk really all the way through.
I
But I
love
don't know.
that. I
Do you
love
think
that movie.
which one do you think is the weakest of Marvel Phase One?
Um, I'm gonna say Thor won
Yeah,
because of Kat Dennings.
or would you say? Because I like Kat Dennings in the second one.
I thought she was a step up in the second one, but I
Yeah.
still hated her character, and that's why I was like, thank God they got rid of her, and they did away with all the cheesy romance happiness,
Hmm.
which is nice, you know. So like I'm like, all right, cool, we just got straight Thor bro action, you know, and
Hell yeah.
like it was a cool playback to the original comics.
Oh yeah.
His Donald Blake alter ego.
I loved the opening sequence with Surtur and
It was hilarious.
there's that like the shot that like sold me on the movie is Thor like flying away from the dragon monster thing, and he and the dragon thing are like silhouetted against the burning skyline of like, and it just I was like, that's a panel right out of the comics. That's
Yeah.
like that's like
A lot of them, yeah.
Jack
Even
Kirby looking stuff.
a lot of stuff with Grandmaster was. I think they even had panels in the background from artwork that was done by Jack Kirby.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Taika Waititi, the
Uh-huh.
Taika Waititi being the director, he said that the whole movie was basically an homage to like Jack Kirby
Awesome.
and his artwork and stuff. There's a lot of like that. He did a lot of like lines with circles attached to them.
Yeah.
Like that. That's kind of like a staple
Yeah.
of Jack Kirby.
I was thinking of like the Jack Kirby eyes today.
Oh yeah,
Like, you know, they're like really cool.
yeah,
His lips are like squared.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's like great like Captain America drawings
Uh-huh.
like, that have that. Yeah.
I like Michael Alredis today. I think he's pretty comparable to Jack Kirby.
Mhm.
He's one of my favorite artists of today. I think he's still doing Silver Surfer right now for Marvel.
Mm.
I fell off of that a while ago, but he did Ecstatics back in the day, and the Future Foundation, which was really my favorite one. It was so cool. It was like Fantastic Four, but with Ant-Man as the leader,
Ooh.
and it wasn't really fantastic. It was just like it was an off branch of Fantastic Four,
Uh-huh.
but it was called the Future Foundation. Scott Lang was in charge of it. It's really cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Michael already did all of that, and he's a lot like Jack Kirby, I think.
Cool.
So, yeah.
So, what else can we say about this movie that hasn't already been said? It's amazing. It's
holy cow! Like
hilarious. It's like the best.
it's just an awesome standalone Thor movie. I think.
Yeah.
It's just you don't really need to like understand 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean everything that you need to know about 1 and 2,
Yeah.
I feel like is covered.
Yeah.
Pretty
Um,
quickly. The big thing is Ragnarok. Like that's the big thing
Yeah.
that gets introduced at the top of the movie and at the end of the movie.
It's what it is. What it is, and it works. I think I feel like it's a good like new starting point for Thor.
Yeah. I really
Um,
hope there's more Thor
Me
going
too.
forward, because it just kind of bums me out. Like, people didn't like the first Captain America movie for some reason. Because
Mhm.
when I go back on that one, I always am like, you know what, this gets better and better. Like, the more movies Captain America's in. And I would argue that about every Marvel movie. Because I watched Age of Ultron again
Yeah.
the other night to get ready for Thor Ragnarok.
Mhm.
And I was like, this movie is awesome.
Solid.
And especially after all the other movies that have come out since then,
Mhm.
and then going back to that one,
Mhm.
knowing kind of where it'll lead, it's like, wow, this is actually really, like, this is way better than even I remember it being. Because I
Yeah.
remember it being awesome. We were like the only two people
That were
who liked
loved it.
Age of
Excited
Ultron.
to see
Yeah.
Vision and
Jeez.
Ultron. Yeah, no, it was great, man. I loved all the characters. Korg was like my favorite.
Oh my god, yeah, Korg and Meek.
Yeah,
Meek was probably my
Oh, yeah,
favorite. He
man.
says nothing and he's like my
He's
favorite.
so funny.
He's just so cute with his little knife arms.
My mom loved him too. Like it was like I want a Korg movie.
Yeah.
Just straight up, like I could watch
The
that.
genius thing that about
Yeah.
Taika Waititi is that, like, you know, he's the director of the movie and he might never make another Marvel movie again.
Yeah.
But now if they ever put
They
Korg in a
have to
movie,
cast him
they
as
need
it.
to have him come back and it'll
He's
be
brilliant.
the funniest
He's
thing.
genius.
Yeah, he's so
He's like I'm gonna be Korg, so
Yeah.
I want to. What a genius.
he's great.
Yeah. I hope he does another Marvel movie.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying about Thor, because, like, yeah, I kind of got off track, so, but
Mhm.
like, you know, Captain America found another audience and a wider audience with the second movie,
Mhm.
and then, you know, people like him again in Age of Ultron, and then Civil War is great. You know, like, he just got increasingly better. And with Thor, it was like people kind of liked the first one, and then they didn't like the second one
Yeah.
really, which I think is okay.
I didn't like the first one. I like the second one better.
And then and then and then yeah, and then now the third one is really good.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like you know, poor Thor,
Yeah.
you know, like if they don't make another standalone Thor movie, this was his like one great outing. You know,
Yeah.
I still like the first two. They're like, I think
Yeah.
they're fine, but this third one, just like, this is everything I wanted out of a Thor movie.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And I was saying this about Spider-Man: Homecoming too. I really feel like now we've reached a point with the Marvel movies where they work as these standalone stories,
Mhm.
but they feel much more like comic book issues now.
Yeah.
Where, like, I'm watching Spider-Man and then, oh hey, there's Iron Man.
Yeah.
Oh, and of course there's Iron Man because they're in the same universe.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't he be there? You know?
Yeah.
Or like I'm reading a Thor comic and then I turn the page. Oh,
Hey,
it's the Hulk.
yeah.
Wow, cool. You know? Or, oh, Doctor Strange. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Wow, what's he
Yeah.
get? You know, like, and it doesn't feel like they're, you know, and I never felt like they were shoehorning in. A lot of people complained about this, and I think they still do, but a lot of people complain about, like, you know, like, they're just trying to set up the next movie.
No.
And I've never felt like that, but especially now, I
Not
feel
anymore.
like it's just fun. It's just fun for
Yeah.
Thor and Loki to go to New York, and then, you know, Doctor Strange is there, and they need his help.
Yeah.
And then he's gone, and he never
That's
comes
it.
back.
That's
Like, yeah,
perfect.
it was like
it was
so
such a
good.
cameo. Yeah, it was perfect, man. I think this one, like, I didn't notice too many Easter eggs. At least maybe I have to watch it a couple more times.
Yeah, well, like,
This
so
is
the
as of
like at the
now.
Grand Master's Tower, like all the
Yeah.
faces, and then they're like building Hulk's face because
Yeah.
he's the new champion.
So yeah, that's something that I did catch. You're right. Yeah, I felt like that was a reference to World War Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if they ever get a hold of Hulk.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That'd be cool. It'd be really cool to see.
Yeah, I'm intrigued about what they were trying to set up at the end of the movie.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is like, again, you know, I think other people, when they watch the Marvel movies, they're like, I don't get it because I don't like comic books, so I'm not, you know. So then they think it's like some grand setup that they would only understand if they read the comics. But I don't think that's necessarily true.
Yeah.
Because even if a movie just left you with some like kind of weird cliffhanger, you'd be intrigued, you know. And if it wasn't based on any source material, you'd just be like, oh, are they trying? Oh, I guess there's more adventures to be had.
Yeah.
You know, like at the end of Indiana Jones, you know there could be more adventures to be had because that by the nature of what he does.
Yeah.
There's more adventures to be had, you know. But all of a sudden, because the Marvel movies are based on comic books, and they are trying to set stuff up, but I don't think they're trying to force it down your throat. I think people just get the wrong idea. They're like,
BBS.
you know, yeah. You know, like the movie doesn't stop to show you a trailer for Justice League in the middle. You know.
Or cue Wonder Woman's music every time she shows up.
Yeah.
But
Oh my god.
you know, like I was happy to have like a good standalone, like you said, it isn't nothing shoehorned in. It's a good standalone Thor movie.
Yeah. There's a
Yeah.
little bit of context that's nice to have, like, because there's that great gag where Thor tries to do the lullaby.
That was
That was so
hilarious.
funny. Oh
Yeah,
my
so
god.
yeah, I mean it's a good like service to fans of the whole MCU. That was one of the funniest jokes I think.
It's so
Yeah, I
good.
lost it when they did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just it's stuff like that. And it's really good that it stacks, and I think it's even better if you just watch like Age of Ultron. Like I
Yeah.
think that's kind of like the most required viewing
Hmm.
uh,
For sure. For
for
Thor
Thor.
Ragnarok. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, just because they mentioned the Infinity Stones, which do not come up in this movie at all,
yeah.
which is intriguing.
What was the
Uh
most intriguing thing was that Hela referenced the fake gauntlet.
huh. Yeah.
That
So that's
really
a
threw me
big.
off.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so where are the real gauntlets at?
Yeah. What's the? We know for a fact Thanos has
He's
one
gonna
because
get
that's
one.
at the end of Age of Ultron. Yeah.
We don't know where he got it from though.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. How did he get it?
And
Where
then
did he get it?
I'm still banking that Adam Warlock's gonna show up and get one too.
Yeah. That'll probably be the second one though, because James
Yeah,
Gunn
of
confirmed.
course.
Yeah. Because James Gunn confirmed Adam Warlock won't show up until Guardians 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it might not be until the second Infinity War that we have
Warlock.
Adam Warlock, which is interesting. But I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
I still think that
Maybe he's just throwing us for a loop.
I mean, I also think that it's gonna be Zac Efron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would love it if it was Zac
Me
Efron.
too. I still hope it's Zac
I
Efron.
think he'd be awesome.
Yeah, he got signed a while ago. But that was like 2 years ago. So I'm just like, maybe they're just planning way ahead.
Yeah. So the score for this movie, a lot of people talk about how Marvel scores are not memorable. And this one, I can't remember a medley at all.
Yeah.
But man, is it just like, it just sets the tone
Yeah.
perfectly. And then like the soundtrack with Immigrant Song is like,
Yeah,
Just-
that's what I was telling Mac, my brother. That it's just finally, like this is how movies should finally, and Marvel TV shows use songs. It's just like,
mhm.
the thing that bothers me the most about the DC movie trailers is that they're just using terrible, in my opinion, terrible covers instead of using like the real cool covers. I mean, real cool original songs.
Yeah.
It's just
Or,
like,
or at least find a good cover. I mean,
Yeah.
I suppose somebody somewhere thinks that's a good cover.
yeah,
But we were talking about how like the Stranger Things, like in Stranger Things, they use a cover of
Peter
Heroes.
Gabriel's,
Yeah, they use
yeah.
Peter Gabriel's
And it's-
Heroes.
It makes me cry.
And it's like, yeah, it's an amazing use of that because
Yeah.
it's a great cover. Like, it's a really good cover. And it works in context of the
in context
scene.
of the series.
And I don't
Yeah.
know that the cover of Heroes that they use works
it the-
for the trailer for Justice League.
I don't think it
I don't
worked
think it
at all.
strikes the right tone.
I think and I'm pretty sure it wasn't the real Metallica song on the Punisher trailer either, was it?
I don't know.
I don't think it was.
It
and-
didn't quite sound
and
like
it definitely wasn't Nirvana over Defenders when they
It-
did it.
Yeah, I don't think it was either.
Yeah,
It's
see
not.
what I mean? Just why are they doing these weird, like maybe,
Yeah, they
maybe
do
they
it
just
weird.
can't afford the right. But it's fucking Disney, come
Yeah,
on.
yeah, I know.
Come
They
on.
got all the money in the
I
world.
know.
No, well, I strangely enough, getting Led Zeppelin songs is like
It's very hard.
crazy hard. I think only recently they started doing it because I think the laws shifted where money from royalties is like it actually works better in the artist's favor.
I think it
So
started
I think
with
I think that's why they're a little more
yeah.
like they let more people use it, but it's still crazy expensive.
Screw Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, no. But the score by Mark Mothersbaugh from Devo
Love
and
Mark Mothersbaugh.
Yeah, oh my
man.
God, he's
Jeez,
awesome.
He'll never be uncool.
did you've watched
Everything
has
Devo?
anybody out there watched what's it called, the Yo Gabba Gabba?
Oh
Because
God,
Mark
dude, I
Mothersbaugh
love
is the
Yo
guy
Gabba.
who draws the pictures.
I love.
So
Yo
like
Gabba
when you
Gabba
so when
much,
he's like,
dude.
we're gonna draw a dog, that's
Yeah.
Mark Mothersbaugh,
Yeah.
and it kind of blows my mind that
Yeah.
it's him. I'm like,
Yeah.
what is he doing
And
on
then
Yo
he
Gabba Gabba?
he did Rugrats and
He
then,
did the music for Rugrats.
You know,
Which I keep wanting to edit the Thor trailer with the Rugrats theme
song.
over it, which I think would be really
Yeah.
funny.
He's done so much. Mark Mothersbaugh is a genius. All the
Mhm.
Devo. I grew up watching Devo music videos.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah,
still have
dude.
the DVDs. I think
Oh wow.
I gotta bust those out.
Oh wow.
wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, this movie does. I just think it does a great job. There's some stuff from the Thor Ragnarok comic that I wish had been implemented into the story, but it's fine that it's not because the movie is just so good. Like, what I really was surprised was the action actually.
Yeah.
Because Taika Waititi only did like indie movies,
Mhm.
and they were all very good.
Yeah.
But it's just weird to like see this like amazing action, like it's just really like clear. I'm not gonna say it's like the greatest thing in the world, you know. And it's not like, you know, John Wick or something, or Jackie Chan.
Time, like...
But for someone who hadn't directed action before, I mean, it's incredibly clear. I know what's going on.
Yep.
You know, like he just knew how to direct it. So I like, you know, like the camera's in a good place. You know, the cuts are not too fast to like bother me. Like it, I knew what was going on, and it was entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
You know, and we were sitting in the second row, so we're like relatively close.
That was great.
Where more shaky cam and fast cuts would have, like, you know.
And everything stayed centered.
Yeah.
I was so happy that one joke paid off with the M16. So remember the time I told you, I was like, they better make it clear.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I remember in the trailer,
okay,
Carl
good.
Urban has the M16s, and when the trailer kept, Brandon was really like frustrated.
I'm just so pro prop. Like I'm like, make real props, you know. But I figured they would, because there was kick-ass props regardless, you know. Like I love the freaking cannons that Loki and Thor.
Oh yeah, those are awesome. I love the gag where he's like, "Let's do help me."
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's just, it's so funny. The whole movie is just like, you know, it's really great. It was really interesting. I was watching some interviews before we recorded this with Taika Waititi about like, you know, how they wrote a script. He worked with the writers on the story he wanted to tell and all that. But then they would write the script, and then when they would go to set, he was like, the script was kind of a suggestion as opposed to what we would actually do. And it seems like there are certain scenes where he would just kind of, it sounded like how they did Iron Man. Right. But Iron Man, they did it out of necessity because there's a writer's strike.
Yeah.
You know, and they didn't have a script. They just said, you know, okay, here's the goal of the scene, get there somehow.
Right.
You know, this is what you're feeling, this is what you're feeling. And it's kind of the same thing with Thor, where it's like, okay, well, let's, you know, okay, the script, yeah, this is the scene, this is what we're trying to do by the end of the scene. You know, so let's, you know, how can we get there just by improvising? And I thought that was really interesting, because then more emotional moments, like that scene where they're in the elevator and Thor and Loki are talking to each other, he said that they shot that's straight up the script.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's weird. That's cool. That's cool that they did that.
Yeah. I would hope that he does a Star Wars movie someday, but I know he made that joke.
Oh man, yeah, yeah. Let me tell that story because it's so funny. Someone on Twitter, when Colin Trevorrow was kicked off of episode 9. Sorry, my phone went off, guys. When Colin Trevorrow was kicked off of directing episode 9, or when he left, I don't know what the situation was. Somebody tweeted out, "Oh, it's Taika Waititi's chance." They added him, and they were like, "It's Taika Waititi's chance to direct a Star Wars movie," and his response was, "Bless you." Thank you. Taika Waititi's response was,
"Sorry,
lols. I like to finish my movies."
Yeah.
And like LOLZ.
Yeah.
Like that was so funny. and then he tweeted again, and he was like, "They would fire me before I even started the movie." Which is funny because you watch an interview with him and you can totally see what he means, because he is like so erratic and just like he's just going a million miles an hour, and he like changes what he's thinking about every 2 seconds. You know, I was watching a 30-minute interview with him, and they talked about Thor for maybe 5 minutes. Like it just was like,
sounds a lot like us.
Yeah, he does sound a lot like us. But it's really funny. It's like, you know, and then they asked, like, you know, what was it like working with Taika on set? And they're like, or they asked Taika, they were like, you know, was it hard to wrangle Chris and, you know, Mark and all those? And then Mark Ruffalo and Chris Hemsworth are standing by, and they're like, no. We had to wrangle him. Taika. Like he just would go crazy, you know. And then he puts himself in the movie, and he managed to make this like amazing
character.
I mean, yeah. Like, just the whole movie is just awesome.
Crap.
I gotta say, my favorite moment, kind of underrated, that I haven't heard anybody mention, is this the when Hela confronts everyone in Asgard, and then like, you know, she says, you know, you can't defeat me, blah blah, and then he's like, if you don't stand down, we're gonna show you no mercy. And then it cuts to this like super wide shot, and Hela's like really small in the frame, and she goes like, did you not hear anything I just said?
Yeah.
And it's so, like, that was just so funny.
That was pretty funny.
I think the whole movie has a lot of that humor.
Yeah.
And it was weird. Our audience did not laugh.
I feel like we were the loudest.
I think we were the loudest people.
We were screaming.
We were in a packed theater.
And we were just busting.
And we thought it was hilarious. And because there was a lot of weird, like New Zealand humor
that we love.
Yeah, that like.
I love Fly to the Conchords.
Yeah, oh my God, it's so funny.
And then What We Do.
What We Do in the Shadows. Yeah.
So damn fun. I love
Yeah.
Taika Waititi.
No,
and
yeah.
Flight of the
You
Conchords.
haven't seen Hunt for the Wilder People yet?
No, I
You
haven't seen that
got
one
to.
yet.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's probably his most emotional movie on
I
top
bet.
of being very funny,
Yeah.
like it normally is.
I love that dude.
But
I just want more movies from him.
yeah, no, he's so good. He's so funny.
He should do a Star Wars movie.
He's such an impressive filmmaker.
He really is.
Yeah, but I guarantee if he did a Star Wars movie, they wouldn't want him to finish it.
Yeah, it's like, you gotta go.
Yeah, yeah. That's why we could never make a Star Wars movie. Maybe we could. Who knows?
I feel like it's a 50-50 thing. I feel like we could do a Star Wars series.
Yeah,
Like
I agree.
Like a TV show.
Yeah, if
show.
they ever did like a Netflix thing.
Well, because Netflix is gonna be on their own streaming service probably.
Yeah.
The streaming service, Disney.
Yeah, their
service.
Disney streaming service that's coming soon.
I could get down with it. I think I'd prefer to do a series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, what else is there to say?
Thor was amazing. Go watch it.
It's just amazing. Just go check it out. We
movie.
spoiled a couple things, so
Yeah,
maybe you're watching this afterwards just to hear what we thought about it, or maybe you're listening to this
put a spoiler warning
before. Yeah, we'll put I'll say mild spoilers because we don't. I don't recall saying anything too spoilery. Nothing that really wasn't spoiled in the trailers. I don't think.
There's a few things I think, but
but yeah, there's some real surprises and twists and turns. This movie is crazy. My dad was like, when we got home, my dad was like, "That movie is insane," and he was like, "Jeff Goldblum is so crazy," and I'm like, "That is the most Jeff Goldblum Jeff Goldblum has ever been."
Yeah.
He's just. I was watching an interview with him, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's like old Brandon."
Yeah.
He
really is.
Like it was so weird. Like a little bit more eccentric. A little bit more eccentric.
I'm gonna get old and be Jeff Goldblum.
And you'd be Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just.
I was actually reading an interview with him the other day. I was like, he sounds a lot like me.
Yeah, like the way he like puts his inflections. He's such a bizarre guy. He's just so great. But yeah, dude, that was like he's great. Mark Ruffalo's great. Chris Hemsworth, this is probably his best performance as Thor.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just so charismatic and funny and charming. And Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie.
She was great.
Great.
Yeah.
Kate Blanchett, amazing. I really hope
I think she's gonna be back.
She'll come back. Yeah. Again, I don't necessarily want to spoil the end of the movie by speculating what happened to her. But I hope that wasn't the last we saw of her, because I really want her to be death in the MCU.
I think it's gonna
that
happen.
Thanos. Can't you imagine Josh Brolin crushing on Kate Blanchett?
And she just like lead them on the whole time.
Yeah, I mean it'd be so good. It'd be great.
Hilarious.
That'd be great. Yeah. Yeah, there's a little bit more I want to say, but it gets a little too spoilery.
Yeah.
I guess we could talk about it at another time, but I think this will be it. We'll keep it short. But yeah, so final thoughts, Brandon. What do you think?
I loved it. It was I think it's made a good rank. Probably my top 5 favorite Marvel movies. It's up there now with Iron Man 1 and Guardians 2. I really have to think about my top 5 though, but it's I think it's up there now. That's probably my number 3 right now.
Yeah.
Because I would say Iron Man would be number 1, 2 would be Guardians 2, and 3 would be this one.
I gotta say, I mine is very similar to yours. I would say Guardians 2, Thor Ragnarok, and at least one of the Captain America movies, because Cap has such great all 3 of those movies are really solid, and then both of the Avengers movies I really love.
Yeah.
It's tough, but I guess that would be like my top 5.
Cap 1, I think to me.
Cap 1
I changed my mind. I go back.
Man, Cap 1 is
Iron Man is gonna have to go back a couple bits because Cap 1
the only reason I don't pick Iron Man as one of them is A, I haven't watched it in a really long time, and B, that's like everybody's. It's like when you ask any little kid their favorite Pixar movie, and they're like Finding Nemo. Yeah. And I'm like, there are like 40 other movies other than Finding Nemo, but every little kid loves Finding Nemo. And I think a lot of people disregard the rest of the Marvel movies.
Nobody loves Bugs Life.
Because what's up with that? Yeah, I love Bugs Life too. But yeah, I think a lot of people disregard a lot of the other Marvel movies because they are like they think Iron Man started it all, and so they're like, well, that one's the best one. And I'm like, I think a lot of like there are
I love
movies
when
that have
Jeff
better
Bridges-
cinematography, better.
Yeah.
There are other elements that go into filmmaking that I
Yeah.
think work better in some of the other movies.
Yeah.
Not that the first Iron Man is a bad movie. It's a really great, like, that movie's awesome. And Jeff Bridges is good.
Yeah.
Even though I don't care for that villain particularly.
Yeah.
And,
know why people
Jon
wouldn't like.
Favreau directing is
Yeah,
like,
he's awesome.
it's awesome. Yeah. I mean, but anyway, I think Thor Ragnarok is definitely like, this is the movie I had wanted from the Thor franchise for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we got it.
People need to watch it and love it.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you guys next time on After the Movie. We have been your hosts. I'm Skylar.
And I'm Brandon.
And I don't know what we'll be talking about next time. Maybe Coco. And I don't know who's going to be here with that. But we also have a Stranger Things episode that we're going to record right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next time.
Adios.